There are people who genuinely want connection, yet still pull away from it at the same time. They check their phone hoping someone reaches out first, but when a message finally appears, they suddenly don't feel like replying anymore. Part of them wants closeness, comfort, and someone who truly understands them, but another part has learned that emotional closeness can also become exhausting, disappointing, or painful. Psychology suggests this often happens when the brain starts associating connection with emotional risk instead of emotional safety. For some people, being misunderstood hurts more than being alone, so their mind begins analyzing every little interaction too deeply. Changes in tone, delayed replies, shorter messages, awkward pauses, subtle shifts in energy. Over time, vulnerability stops feeling comforting and starts feeling dangerous. And eventually, distance feels emotionally safer than disappointment. Some people also become emotionally independent far too early. They learned not to rely on others because support often felt inconsistent, unavailable, or emotionally draining. So instead of asking for help, they quietly train themselves to handle everything alone. Even when they're overwhelmed, they instinctively say things like, "I'm okay," or "Don't worry about it," because depending on people no longer feels natural to them. Others avoid people because they've grown tired of surface-level connection. Small talk feels empty, forced conversations feel exhausting, constant online interaction starts feeling performative instead of real. They don't necessarily want attention from everyone around them. They want depth, honesty, emotional calm, and conversations that actually feel meaningful. And when those kinds of connections feel rare, solitude begins to feel more peaceful than being surrounded by people who still make you feel emotionally alone. Psychology also shows that highly observant people often become socially exhausted much faster than others. Their brain constantly picks up subtle details most people ignore: fake enthusiasm, forced smiles, emotional tension, changes in body language, shifts in tone, uncomfortable silence. Even after the interaction ends, their mind keeps replaying everything afterward, trying to understand what it meant. So eventually, avoiding people can start feeling emotionally easier than constantly overanalyzing every interaction. At the same time, many of these people secretly wish someone would understand them without needing a long explanation. They want someone who notices when they suddenly become quiet, someone who understands exhaustion hidden behind "I'm just tired," someone who recognizes emotional distance without taking it personally. But when nobody notices, the mind slowly starts believing, maybe nobody really understands me anyway, and that belief pushes them even deeper into isolation. For many people, this pattern didn't appear randomly. A lot of emotionally avoidant individuals were once extremely open, trusting, and emotionally available, until eventually they were ignored, betrayed, invalidated, abandoned, or made to feel unsafe expressing themselves honestly. And after enough emotional pain, the brain adapts. It starts treating emotional closeness cautiously, not because they stopped caring about people, but because part of them now expects disappointment before connection even fully begins. That's why some people pull away right when relationships start becoming emotionally real. Not because they don't feel anything, sometimes they actually feel too much. Their mind simply starts preparing for loss before anything has even gone wrong. And honestly, that's the painful contradiction about emotionally avoidant people. They often think about connection more than anyone else. They imagine deep conversations, emotionally safe relationships, feeling understood without needing to explain every part of themselves, having someone they can fully relax around emotionally. But overthinking, fear, emotional exhaustion, and self-protection keep interrupting the very thing they crave most. So if you're someone who wants connection while also avoiding people, it doesn't automatically mean you're antisocial, cold, or emotionally broken. Sometimes it simply means you became emotionally tired. Tired of shallow relationships, tired of constantly explaining yourself, tired of getting attached and feeling disappointed afterward, tired of feeling emotionally unseen around people who were physically present. But psychology also reminds us of something important. Isolation is not always healing. Sometimes real healing begins when you finally meet people who make your nervous system feel calm instead of anxious. People who don't make connection feel performative, people who don't punish vulnerability, people who allow you to exist without constantly feeling emotionally guarded. Because deep down, even the people who enjoy solitude still want emotional safety somewhere. They still want a person, place, or connection where they can finally stop overthinking and simply feel at peace being fully themselves.